The Southeast Caucus of the People's Democratic Party has been on a collision course with the party. Political affairs analyst Dr. Ambrose Igboke joins us now from Enugu to discuss the Southeast case against PDP and options before the zone. Good afternoon. Thank you so much for joining us on Newsday.
Good afternoon, and thanks for having me on the show.
Now, let's get right into it. Perhaps you've seen the cover pages of Nigerian newspapers today. One of the interesting stories is the statement by the National Alliance for Democratic Governance. The group holds the view that with the reinstatement of Senator Samuel Anyanwu as the National Secretary of the PDP, it signals the death of the PDP. In fact, it says that the National Chairman, Damagun, is now presiding over the final funerals committee of the party. What's your take on that?
Well, I will align myself with the group because how else can you explain the fact that a party which has consistently been on the nosedive since 2015 wakes up and want to ensure that people like Governor Peter Mba and Governor Seyi Makinde that have been sustaining the party are being treated unfairly, especially the Southeast Caucus. Prior by this time, during the preparation of the election of 2015 and 2013, when the forces from CPC, New PDP and ACN joined forces, the PDP had 3 governors in the Southeast, where by the time we are through with 2033 election, there remaining only 1 governor, which is Peter Mba of Enugu State. But what did PDP do? Peter Mba has been the only governor who is in the Southeast, who have been galvanizing the party, who has been fiercely loyal, and who has done everything to put the party together in the Southeast. Yet, that was not enough. But, to just come around and, rub salt on injury, some people, the national chairman and the FCT minister, feels that they are bigger than the Southeast caucus. This is unfair to the Southeast, who have fiercely been loyal to the PDP since 1998, when the party was formed. Remember that it was the G34 led by Alex Ekweme that formed the nucleus of what we call the PDP today, and how he was also denied in the just convention of the presidential flag bearer. Despite that, the Southeast have been loyal, have been the bastion of the party. Also, remember when an Igbo son was picked as the vice presidential candidate to Muhammadu Buhari, remember Mr. Ben Obi, remember Edwin Mezoke, also remember Ahamba. These people were all picked, as running mates, but the Igbos still voted PDP. Remember when Chief Odumegwu Ojukwu, who is regarded as the de facto Igbo leader throughout history, also contested election in 2003. What did the Igbos do? The Igbos did not vote for him; they voted for PDP. That underscores the total loyalty that the Southeast has given PDP over the years. But when it was now the turn of the PDP to bring a Southeasterner as the flag bearer for the party in 2023, what did we do? When it reverted, to the South, Southwest has produced under PDP 8 years. South has produced under PDP for 6 years. It was now time to microzone it. The common sense thing was to microzone it in the case of equity and fairness, to microzone it to the Southeast. But what did they do? They threw open the contest, which forced Mr. Peter Obi to leave the party to the LP. While we are also looking forward to the PDP to actually see how it can, mend the cracks and bring party faithfuls together, it is going down the hill instead. When Mr. Anyanwu went to contest an election, the right thing was for him to resign, of course, because the PDP National Secretary is the officer in charge of the primaries. So how can Mr. Anyanwu, who is going to contend with other candidates, be in charge of selecting candidates for flag bearer in Imo State that he went to? So there was a vacuum, and nature abhors vacuum. And remember that in PDP, the convention and practice in PDP is that positions at national level are zoned to the zones. And when they are zoned, it is the caucus of that zone that produces the candidate which is ratified by the national PDP. All other people have done that. When it came to the Southeast, then I said, okay, since Aya was left, Udo Okoye was now brought in from the caucus to do acting. Later, he was validated. What the national would have done, which is the convention and practice in PDP, was just to adopt that and ratify it. But no, The national chairman and the FCT minister think otherwise, and they want to ensure that it is their own choice and not the choice of the Southeast Caucus that is being upheld. This is very unfair. This is not how to run a party, especially for someone like Governor Peter Mbah, who has been the person that is holding the party together in the Southeast.
Now, very well said. The Southeast Caucus of the PDP has threatened to review its relationship and future with the party if its decision on the issue of the National Secretary is not respected. But I'm wondering, do you really see the Southeast making good their threats now? And if they do, how do you think it will impact the PDP?
The PDP right now is what I call intensive care units with oxygen support. And instead of those, when you are in the ICU, when someone is in the ICU, the relatives run around to ensure that the person does not die. But rather, PDP being the ICU, the people who are supposed, the national chairman who is supposed to make sure that he doesn't die, wants to be the chairman of the funeral committee so that the party will be buried. And that gives vent to some suspicion that some external forces are actually using the internal people to want to destabilize and bury the party. And, when you come to a funeral, when the funeral is over, people go home. And you don't sit with the corpse. So what is happening now is that if the National does not revert its decision to uphold Anyao, then I think the Southeast Caucus have now the justification to find their political future, because you cannot force yourself on people. You cannot force yourself on the party that does not even recognize your own role, does not recognize what you have been doing, does not recognize the sacrifices you have made over the years. The sacrifice. Look, the Southwest had their own regional party, the Alliance for Democrats, which became later Action Congress, and then ACN. During the first tenure, when the 5 governors of the Southeast were all PDP, there were 9 governors from the North that were the APP that time before they transformed to ANPP. So the East has been the only one that was fiercely loyal. So I would rather say, for me, I will pontificate that the Southeast Caucus should just find their political future elsewhere, because in a release and a communique that was delivered, I think sometime ending of May, that they reinstated and revalidated their stand that Udo Okoye is the choice of the caucus for the national position of the national secretary, which was zoned to the Eastern Caucus, to the Southeast zone, and that if the party refuses their candidate, then they will be forced to find another political pathway. And I think that they have done. The national chairman has already done that, I think on Monday or Tuesday, by still refusing to rectify that choice. Therefore, I think they should carry out the mandate of looking for another political trajectory and leave PDP for the people who own the carcass to mourn them.
Some observers, are wondering if the agitations within the Southeast PDP over the position of national secretaryship is really about that position, or are there other underlying grievances amongst the Southeast Caucus against the party? What do you think of this?
Well, the fundamental is not even about the position. The fundamental is that somebody is trying to deny you your rights. Somebody wants to tell you that what you are good for is only to support others, to support other zones, and not to become a presidential flag bearer yourself. That was done in 2023. 2 years down the line, the same people came back again to tell you that what should have been a convention and practice since 1998, 1999, it remains that it was now your turn. Just two people want to subvert a whole zone. So I think it's not about the position. It's about the treatment. It's about somebody who wants to bully you and you are refused to be bullied. And the Southeasterners and Igboke should not see this just as a PDP matter. I think it's to be seen as a collective insult on our psyche and on our rights. So it is no more just like a PDP matter. It's about what belongs to the Easterners, and they are being denied, not by any other person, but just by 2 people. So the position, the actions taken by the national chairman is very, very wrong and has to be reversed. And if they refuse to reverse it, then I think they can pull out, because it goes beyond just the position. It's also about your rights and being trampled on. And then on top of that, you are being bullied and disrespected. Look at the way the FCT minister is calling the name of Governor Peter Mbah and Governor Seyi Makinde, talking to them without respect, not respecting the office of the governors. That to me is unacceptable. And if they have to, the national chairman cannot do this to PDP in the Southwest. He cannot do this in the Northwest. He cannot do it in the Northeast. Is it because in the Southeast, is that why they should not flex their muscles? I think the Southeast, for the first time, should be able to tell the PDP, we are done with you, and then we are finding our alternatives.
Mr. Igboke, you live in Enugu currently. So how are the people of the state taking the PDP squabbles and the political realignment going on in the country? And how do you think this squabble would affect the chances of Governor Peter Mbah, as he performed well enough to earn the bragging right and trust of his people to also align with him, no matter what happens?
I think in the last election, Nigerians have had a paradigm shift from party loyalty to personal cultic followership. Before, it was only just Muhammadu Buhari who enjoyed that when in the days in CPC and the rest. Now, people are looking at who can deliver the mandate of dividends of democracy to them. Now, we are in the Southeast now, we are very sure now that the PDP doesn't have our back anymore with this kind of display they are doing. That is why the PDP lost Ebonyi. It lost Anambra a long time ago. It lost Imo also some time ago. In the last election, it lost Abia. So those ones are already taking a paradigm shift. It's still the Enugu people that are still... So the Enugu people, I don't think they have any to lose any sleep if the governor moves or if the caucus moves. It is anywhere, they believe in their governor, and it's anywhere the governor goes that they will go too. So Nigerians, even generally, are no longer even interested in people in parties. They are more interested in the personalities. And that is why we can see a lot of ground shifting, people moving about their trajectory, and their people are still following them. So that is the new democratic followership now. We have experimented followership for 27 years, and it didn't do us any good per se. So it is time also to now look for new delivery. And I assure you that the people of Enugu are only interested in good governance. They're interested in, if PDP gives it to them, fine. If it is another party that gives it to them, fine. But for now, it is the governor they know, and it's the governor that they will follow.
Now, looking at how things stand now, especially with the new coalition on board, I'm talking about the ADC now, do you see the Southeast leaders, being able to negotiate a resolution that meets their demand while staying in the PDP? Is there a possibility that that could happen?
Well, I don't think the Southeast caucus should play the role of the FCT minister, the role he played in 2023 election, where he was in the PDP and openly said that he was going to, that he was supporting the APC candidate then, who is President Bola Tinubu now. And that is anti-party activity. Those days, it used to be viewed very seriously, and a lot of sanctions followed it. But because of the shenanigans going on there, he didn't support the party of the candidate of PDP. He openly said that he was working for the APC in the presidential election. He followed it through, and then they still left him. There was no sanction. There was not even a reprimand, a rebuke. There was nothing. And then he continued what he was doing. So, and I was thinking also that the new coalition that we are hearing about will do what the APC, the ACN, the CPC, and the NPDP and some other splinter groups from other political parties did in 2013, where they came together and formed a new political party. So for me, that was more of a cleaner way to go about it. So I also think that Southeast Caucus should have a clean break. There's no need to be in PDP and start working for another political party. There just be a break. Let's leave the carcass for those who want to devour it, and then form a new political frontier. It could be registry of a new political party, or it could be negotiating with already existing platforms. Those are the options that are left. But staying in PDP and working with another political party, I don't think that the caucus is that timid. They have to break clean, and then they have to be emphatic of where they stand going forward.
Political affairs analyst Dr. Ambrose, thank you so much for joining us on Newsday.